welcome, Martin. It's great to have you here and for us to spend a little bit of time together. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you. How are you? You all right?
Very well indeed. We've come together for this interview, Martin, and we were just talking before we hit record about our background and our history. And so maybe that's a good place for me to start, is to give a very short intro to who I am and who you are, and also our relationship. And then I'll hand it over to you to give a little bit more insight to, who you are and what you do. So, Martin and I met, I want to say, God, it was 13 years ago now.
I think it was, yeah.
In fact, I think it was 2009. So 13 years ago, Martin and I met. Martin was, a senior leader within a marketing and advertising agency that I subsequently joined. I first recruited for the company, and then I actually recruited myself into the role. I don't know if you remember that, Martin, but Martin became a mentor to me in what was still quite a relative kind of early stages of my professional career. I think I was 25, 26, I want to say at the time. And Martin kind of took me under his wing and, showed me the ropes within that industry. But, what's been, incredible for me is that we've maintained our relationship. After I left the company, I went on, as you know, on a big adventure in life. And subsequently, over the years, it led me to founding Mindful Talent, which is obviously what we're going to be talking about today. So Martin and I go way back, and I'd love, Martin, for you to share a bit about your background and your professional career.
Yeah, thank you. It is amazing when you think, how long we've known each other, and, you're looking younger every day and I'm looking older every day. So well done. Obviously, life's treating you incredibly well. I'm going grey. We've known each other a long time. I've worked within sales and marketing for 30 odd years. Obviously started very young, and I guess have developed as a leader in that time as well. I've worked both agency side, client side, and for the last 14 years or so have been very much working for an agency in particular in London that specialises in promotional marketing activity. Absolutely love it. But I've also diversified a little bit as well, and outside of my agency time, I've combined my business skills with my interests, and my interests are very much about spending as much time as possible outdoors, which is a little bit challenged at the moment, because just at the end of last year I acquired a French bulldog who may actually just jump on my lap at any moment. He's just having a nap, whilst actually he's asleep most of the time, to be honest, anyhow. But it's meant that I've been indoors a lot, but I love being outside. So I spend a lot of time hiking, walking, running, cycling, wild swimming. Absolutely love wild swimming. That cold jolt of energy that you get as soon as you jump in a lake, it's just fantastic. But I've kind of combined that love of fresh air, nature, the environment, the hills, the mountains, the sky, with my business interests as well. And I guess that's kind of where we connected again through Mindful Talent, and how it's kind of all come together.
Yeah, well, your journey to watch from the outside, Martin, if you follow Martin on social channels at all, you'll see Martin regularly in a wetsuit jumping into freezing cold lakes and lochs, which, I love it myself, but many people might think it's madness. But no, I mean, obviously you and I have spoken a lot over the years, and I've seen, a big shift. And like you said, we came back together when I suppose you became interested in what I was doing with the team at Mindful Talent, and particularly interested in a course that we run called the Transformational Coach, which, as you know, we're enrolling for at the moment. And is a course that, although Mindful Talent's only been running for 5 years, the course has been developed, as you know, over almost a 20-year period from my co-founder and business partner, Michelle Armstrong. So, Michelle's been training coaches for many years now and has trained hundreds, if not thousands, of coaches. And you and I reconnected a short while ago about Mindful Talent and the course. And of course, you then came on to train as a transformational coach. And so I wondered if you'd be open, Martin, to just sharing, a little bit about your journey training with us as a team, and the impact that it had on you and also your professional career.
Yeah, and I think, it's probably worth sharing as well why I got in touch in the first place. And I think at the time, I've been working as essentially as a business leader, working with a diverse team of different people within the agency, but also working very closely with clients. And I saw the opportunity of Mindful Talent to really develop my skills. I think at that time, I was really intrigued by the whole concept of coaching and what coaching means. I think it's quite a unique world, really, coaching. A lot of people, have very, wide misconceptions of what coaching is to start off with. They don't really understand what coaching is. But I think for me, what I've really learnt over quite a while now is that what it enables you to do is have a skill, a communication skill that is so different to the way you would normally communicate with people in normal life, the way that we're kind of talking and your friends and the family, people you speak with. Because a coach comes from a place of not giving advice, not giving any direction, sometimes not saying a word. And that is amazing. Creating this space, this protected space where the quietness, that moment, that pause can enable somebody else to think and to come up with the answers and to know which way they're going. And whether or not you use that in business or whether you use that from a day-to-day point of view, what it does is it stops you from telling and gives you the opportunity to give people the space to think of the answers themselves and ultimately find that from within. So I got in contact with Mindful Talent at the time because I'd seen the work that you guys have been doing and really wanted to develop myself, develop my skills, and to develop my my personal growth, really, to find a place where I can use that communication style in business, but also, as I said, linking my interests from a coaching point of view moving forward as well. And I think, whilst I could talk about it for hours, and I'm not going to do that. I do have a tendency to ramble. I think what Mindful Talent has done incredibly well has found a space that's quite unique in the way that it actually supports the people coming through the program. There are lots of different types of coaching courses out in the world, providing, professional qualification, and some not providing professional qualification. In fact, I'd say there's probably a low bar of entry for coaching, and it's getting the right course that's really important. And obviously Mindful Talent does that through the Association for Coaching. But I think the point is that it takes a different place, which is from a point of not just providing you with a qualification, it provides a transformational experience. Right. And that's quite a big, bold claim. The clue's in the title of the course. Transformational Coach. You're a coach and you're going to go through a transformational journey. And I didn't really anticipate that. I thought that I'd go through some kind of journey because I'd seen what the course was about. But wow, what it does is takes you on an amazing journey of personal discovery that leads you onto a path that will just be absolutely fantastic moving forward as well. And I guess we'll go into a bit of detail of what that is, but I think Mindful Talent gives you the opportunity to take a step back from what you're doing and properly organize your thoughts, connect with your values, and move with a brand new plan that can completely change your life. And again, bold claim, but it does. It has for me, it does for others.
I'm glad we're recording this, Martin. There's a testimonial. But I think, what's really interesting is when you said, I didn't anticipate it. What was it that surprised you so much coming through the course? You said I didn't anticipate going through such a personal transformation. So what was it that surprised you about the course?
I think when I did the course, when I embarked on this, I think, I was in my late 40s at the time. And my only previous experience of self-development at that time was many years earlier doing an open university course. Obviously very structured, lots of coursework, many hours of investment and financial investment as well. And of course, any course that has a professional qualification at the end of it is going to have that. Yeah. But it was very structured, felt more corporate. very much just learning what you needed to get the qualification. Some skills, of course, in there. You know, university is a fantastic program in itself, but very different to this. Very different to this. And I came into it with I've been on many courses, from a corporate development point of view over the years, but not really one from a self-development point of view. And I mean that from a, connecting with your own self, your own values, your own thoughts. And also, there are other elements of the course that I wasn't really anticipating that perhaps gave you more understanding of yourself from a mental point of view. What happens in your brain, how you can trigger different parts of your brain to do different things, to create conscious thought and be more present and be able to relax, create energy. All of that, of course, comes through the content as well. So I wasn't ready for that, and it was amazing.
Well, you're not the only one, because, quite often we'll have, and you will have seen this at graduation, where the students say that, I wasn't expecting this level of personal transformation. And, the accreditation in itself is almost like the cherry on top. But we did, as you know, we do evaluations from every course, and we try and improve the experience, right, for future students based on, the current students' experience. And, we were looking through the evaluations the other day, and an incredible stat that is that during the pandemic, in the last 2 years, we've trained almost 200 coaches, which is phenomenal when we think about it. And 90% of those individuals said that the course helped them develop a deeper connection to themselves and others. And that stat blew me away. I actually wrote an email about it because, we've talked about the transformational nature of this program, and not only how it equips you with practical skills and approaches to help other people and help teams and, organizations to flourish as well, but without a doubt, everyone goes through a personal transformation. And it's funny you talked about it's in the name of the course. We never used to call it the Transformational Coach. I don't know if you remember, it used to be called the Trusted Coach. Yeah. And then so many people wrote in the evaluation, the testimonial, transform my life, life-changing, transformational. And we were like, I think we're missing a beat here. We got to rename this course. So, I love hearing about the things that maybe surprised you, Martin, and maybe, moving away from the personal development side, what would you say were like the skills and the attributes that you learned that you still use today and that have impacted you from a professional standpoint, if you like?
Yeah, well, I think undoubtedly probably the most conscious change that I've experienced, and something that has now become something that helps so much from both a business point of view, a personal point of view, a relationship point of view as well, is the ability just to pause a bit and to not just jump in, to be able to listen is probably the biggest point. Many years ago, I would be thinking of my answer to the next question without listening to the response I'm getting from the individual I'm talking to. I'll be thinking ahead. It's like playing snooker. It's thinking of the next move before you've even, hit the ball. And therefore, you're not really present. You're not really listening. And even from a management point of view, probably just directing. And I've tried over the years to really consciously change that style to take a position from a more of a coaching point of view, of providing space for individuals to come up with the answers themselves. But by going through the course in particular, it's enabled me to really be aware of the impact that can really make by taking a step back and actually just being quiet, asking a question and then letting it just drop and walk away to a point and just let that individual answer. And it seems so obvious, but think of how often we have conversations with people where, it's just playing tennis. It's backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards. And you can't really recall what it actually was that you were really talking about, because you're not really in the moment. You're not really present. You are, just conversing. And what this can do incredibly well for you is actually give you the ability to properly listen and respond, not just based on what the response has been, the verbal response has been, but identifying the energy that somebody is displayed when they're answering a question, or the way that they are just moving, or their body language, or it's not often what is actually said in the moment. It's what they're not saying, which is probably the most important point. It's what, I love to actually ask these questions often, is when somebody comes back with something, I'd like to ask, but I noticed that you were thinking of something when you were coming back to me. What was it that you haven't told me that was going through your mind?
Yeah.
And that's the gold. That is the gold that really helps. So yeah, little things like that, which actually, sound quite obvious, but when you think about it, it just makes a hell of a difference if you can just step back a little bit and then slow everything down.
Yeah, it's super powerful. And you're reminding me, we as you know, Martin, we've trained many leaders now, right? From some of the world's leading organizations through our course, Google and Nike being a couple. We've trained many people from Edinburgh University and lots of different organizations. And you're reminding me of what one of the leaders from Google who came in our course said, and it was around the concept of thinking time, and how that one insight where if they give space for their team to think, just how much more innovation and ideas and empowerment, if you like, and responsibility has come from their team. And, we reference the work of Nancy Klein a lot in our course, which of course, she's got an incredible book called Time to Think. But we often in the corporate world, and certainly from my own experience in the corporate world, try and move quickly to the answer, or try and move quickly with our own agenda. And just how valuable that thinking time can be, both for individuals and teams, I think is almost like the best kept secret, right? It's like if we can just give a little bit of space and time, then people will be able to access deeper sources of creativity, deeper insights for new ideas and innovation. But quite often we move so quick that we miss those nuggets of gold coming through, especially in a team environment. So I love that you shared that, because you're not the only leader that's come through the course, and acknowledge just how powerful that is in itself, the listening, the space to think, and then obviously the sharing of observations and what you've noticed. And I think we do those three things in our corporate meetings, and the game would change. We would see, I think, many new emerging ideas that sometimes have been lost in amidst the noise of a boardroom, for instance.
I think what's interesting, one thing you said there is, around the whole space that's created and how we work at such a fast pace in business that you can miss so much. And I think one aspect of coaching in particular, and why people look to work with a coach, is often they have an amazing goal they want to achieve, a big outcome they want to get to, and it seems like it's the top of the mountain, and they can visualize it. They can see what the view is going to be like when they've achieved it, but it looks so far away and it looks so hard to get to. They never really get started because it's too daunting. And of course, what coaching provides is the ability to properly enjoy the journey and create the journey and understand what the path's going to be to achievement by making a project plan, essentially, and creating that together and supporting each other and working as a team to get to the summit. But so much in business can rely on goals and achievement, and you're not enjoying the journey so much because it's just fixated on goal. And we can become quite dissatisfied because you just hit a goal and then you're on to the next goal and you're on to the next goal. But if you can appreciate that journey that you're going on to get there, that is incredibly powerful. And that's where obviously coaching can kind of support with that whole process as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The fulfillment aspect that comes from enjoying the journey. It sounds like such a cliche, but it's true, right? It's when you're in the present moment, in any task, there is a deep joy and sense of satisfaction when you're fully immersed in that process. Some people call it flow, of course, but it's present moment awareness understanding, where you're going to, but also being supported to, take the necessary steps to get there. And some of that will involve stepping outside of your comfort zone on many occasions. But, coaching is such a powerful tool. And I think you mentioned it at the beginning of the conversation, was it can be misunderstood in so many ways that actually coaching in its truest form is really helping the individual to realize more of themselves, helping the individual to connect to the things that are in their hearts, the things that they desire and feel most passionate about, to reconnect to that sense of inspiration as well within them, and then ultimately to lead a healthier, happier, more fulfilling life. So I love that you captured that, Martin. It resonates deeply. Tell me, conscious that we don't want to keep this conversation going on too long, because we could probably speak about it for hours, but if someone like you, right, is in the corporate world, having a successful career, was considering coaching, and either was thinking about it as a point of transition or as a way to supplement and add value to their career that they're in, what would your advice be to them? What nuggets of wisdom would you share with those individuals?
Do it. Just do it. I think we can be quite self-limiting and have some wonderful things we want to achieve and change. And often, if you're at a place where perhaps you're not getting as much joy in what you're doing as you would want to, and you want to enhance that, look at how you can do it and do it. Take the leap of faith. You talked about comfort zones. We live within a comfort zone, sometimes can be so constraining. And we have these voices in our mind, one voice saying, do it, it's going to be amazing, just do it. And another one that's kind of, are you sure? Is now the right time? We've got lots of things going on. Can you afford it? Just do it. Take the leap of faith, because you'll find the way to make it happen. If you, I'm putting myself in that position many years ago when I was thinking about doing the course. For me, the challenge was time. Could I fit this in? But when you're enjoying a good book, or where you're watching an amazing program or going for a box set, you find this amazing time. It's as if you're in some parallel strange universe where suddenly you've got 40 hours a day rather than what you've got. And it's of course because you're cutting out the things that you waste your time on. So you will find the time, because this course in particular is like an amazing box set. I'm watching Billions at the moment, and it's as great as Billions if you love Billions. So just that's where you go.
There's a story for another day about Billions. That actually got me one of my first coaching gigs with a corporate. yeah. Believe it or not, I'm not sure the full story. That's for another time. But it was a funny story that got me an opportunity when I first started out. So I've heard great things about it, but I've never watched it.
But it's interesting actually, because there is of course a coach, Wendy Rose, that plays an executive coach within the program, and there are elements of what she does. There's an episode, I can't remember what season it's in, but it's where she's working with a painter, and she gets him to visualize, and it's an amazing piece of just putting out there what actually the process is able to do for somebody. And it's an aspect, of course, of coaching where you give people the opportunity to visualize what they want to achieve. And I used to spend all my time as a kid in school visualizing, daydreaming, and being told off, get back into the room, things will be thrown at you to get you being more present. But we are stopped as kids from dreaming. We are told just to kind of get on and work. But actually those dreams can provide you with the energy to achieve. And she does it quite well in Billions, so it's worth watching just for how that happens. But no, what I was trying to say is just the course is as good as an amazing box set. You find the time, and that's often the challenge for all of us, is can I find the time to embark on something that's going to take 5 months or so, hours a week? Of course you can. And the outcome is it gives you an amazing set of new skills, the ability to, to take control of yourself and to find this new path that could be absolutely amazing. And that's what I found. I coach now. I coach other people across all different types of, lives, be it entrepreneurs or people, looking to develop their own businesses, or even just wanting to find more joy in their life and, remove those restrictions, remove the anxieties and the pressures that happen. And I do that either face-to-face or climbing mountains or riding bikes. We link it all together as well. So it's enabled me to really develop my skills from a business point of view in the advertising world, but also to create this amazing role of a coach supporting other people, to achieve amazing things. And that feeling of helping people and supporting people is just fantastic. So it fills me with immense gratitude and appreciation for going through the course and embarking on it and coming out in the way I have with these skills as well. So as I said, I could talk about it for hours, and I won't. But thank you, because you introduced me to it, and that was a while ago now, and the journey that I've gone on since is absolutely fantastic and really powerful, and I feel like I've achieved so much in that time because of that as well. So anybody that's out there thinking about it, stop thinking about it, do it, get involved.
Amazing. Well, listen, Martin, I feel like I've paid you back for all those years that I was hampering you with questions in the market and advertising world. I was one of those young enthusiastic executives that never gave Martin a break. And I feel like I've kind of maybe paid that back in some way, shape or form. But it's been a real pleasure speaking to you today, Martin. And I also wanted to acknowledge just how incredible it is that you've mixed all of those things that you love in life, the outdoors, the biking, the freshwater swimming, the wild swimming, and also, coaching and helping other people. It's like this integration of what you love and then contributing and giving back to others is really inspiring. So I wanted to say thank you for coming here today and having this conversation with me. And I'm sure, Martin, that if anyone wants to reach out and find out more about your experience, then you'd be open for them to do that on, on the various channels that we'll post this on.
Of course. Yeah, just get in touch. Any questions, just get in touch with us.
Amazing. Well, I'll end by saying if those people are interested in Transformational Coach, enrollment is open at the moment for the current course. And, we would love to welcome you with open arms. So like I said, reach out to Martin if you would like to know more about his journey. And I hope this has inspired you wherever you are in the world. So Martin, thank you once again for coming here. And I'm no doubt we'll connect very soon again.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.